Oh, yeah. Oh. See what we've got. Ooh. Oh. Looky there. We got some little Halloween grabbies. And we got, oh, look at that little Amazon tree boas. How much you want to bet I get bit? How much you want to bet I get popped? Come here, little buddy. He's cold, so maybe it'll be nice. Oh, look at you! Look how adorable. Oh, look at that. What a cute little baby. Cute little baby. Man, these things look really good. Not wild about them being freezing cold, but they look pretty good. Okay. Get these guys all quarantined. Only other thing I didn't open were these guys. And I'm a little scared to open these. But I guess we gotta make sure they're okay. I don't know how to get these guys out. These beautiful little Cuban knife nulls. I've been obsessed with these guys since I was a kid, so you get to work with these now. It's super cool. I'm excited about that. Got them soaked and treated, and I'm just letting them chill for a little while. These are so cool. They have a kind of a nasty reputation, but they don't seem like they're doing too bad to me. Alright, picked up a few little Amazon tree boas, and I'm soaking these guys. They shipped out yesterday, everything's overnighted. But I do know they've been without water for a little bit, so I'm going to let them soak in some warm water, kind of let them warm up, but also let them rehydrate, and then give them a chance to hopefully go to the bathroom in there and see what the poops look like, and then get them sprayed down as well for mites, just in case. I was bragging about not getting bit or having them try to bite, but now that they are happy and warmed up, these guys are just being their normal selves, and they are all fired up and just ready to eat somebody. But they are beautiful. Big old bug eyes, just watching everything. Nice oranges and reds. This little guy down here has them too. But these are so cool. I'm gonna get these guys set up in some cups just through the weekend, and then they're gonna go in a big enclosure. Since you guys are always complaining that I don't have footage from a show, here you go. It is very hard for me to get footage because I am the only one that works the shows. I work the table by myself, so I can't really walk around and see stuff during the middle of it. And then always the other breeders and I are good friends, and so we always goof around and mess with each other and have some fun. So it's not always the best thing to have on camera when they are being themselves, being goofy and having fun. Not always the most appropriate group of people to work with, but I love them and they're a blast. So it does make it difficult though, so that's why the footage was from before the show. But at least I got you guys something so you can quit complaining. So for those of you guys that have not heard, there are people absolutely losing their mind right now about these little spider morph ball pythons. The IHS, or International Herpetological Society, has announced that they will not be allowing people to sell these guys at their shows anymore. Now, for some reason people are freaking out about this here in America. This is all overseas in Europe. More importantly, this announcement was made in the summer of 2017, so there's nothing new. It's not something that just happened yesterday, and so I don't know why people are freaking out about it now. They also said the same thing in regard to Enigma ball pythons and to Jaguar carpet python. And it's all because of the same neurological issues that some of these snakes have, and lizards as far as with the leopards. So, what I will say is that I have 4 of these guys. The mother gave me 8 beautiful babies last year. 3 of them have a slight issue. One of them is pretty bad. I will not use that one as a breeder. I won't sell it to anybody as a breeder. It's going to be a pet only. But all 3 of them that have the slight issue eat every 5 days. Every 5 to 7 days, they are pounding mice with no problems. When they're not happy with me and they want to bite, they nail me every single time. So they're not that bad off. I have seen some where they are just can't even be upright and they're kind of corkscrewing through the cage, and it is really sad to see. And there are some breeders that really need to be regulated more. I was talking to somebody at a show, and he is somebody who I will never do business with because I was talking about my pairings, and I have an absolutely beautiful super pastel calico spider pinstripe. It's a calico spinner superclass. Beautiful snake. And I was wanting to breed it to the spider just so I could get different variations on that. But you can't breed spider to spider because the babies will not live. There's always an issue. There's always some kind of problem. They don't make it past hatching. And so he basically had the attitude of, well, try it anyway and see what happens. And if you get one, you just lose a snake. And so that's, I get that they're just snakes to some people, but it's also a life. And so that's something that really kind of bothered me. And so I think people like that should absolutely be regulated. But there are other people who try to do it the right way, who want to make sure that their animals are happy and healthy and that they're a good representation of the industry and what we can produce. And these guys are super, super cool. This was the first co-dominant gene that was ever around. It basically just takes all their patterning and makes it into little stripes and lines. It looks kind of like a spider web, so that's why they're called spider ball pythons. They get the blushing up the side, and they get the kind of the white up the sides, and they're very, very cool. These guys are great eaters. Just in general, it's part of it. My big female was eating the week she laid eggs, and that's kind of unheard of for ball pythons. She's also super, super sweet. I use her for shows. If anybody has kids or they have people that want to hold her, she can be held, she can be passed around, and it doesn't faze her whatsoever. So they're great snakes. But there are some people, like I said, that just can't handle it. So for some reason now, though, people are freaking out because they said overseas they're not going to allow them at the shows. You can still sell online, you can still do personal trades, you can still do personal sales, you can do whatever you need to do. You just can't do it in the shows. So people in America now are freaking out, losing their mind about it, and I don't get it. But I would encourage you that if you're looking into getting a spider, because they are very cool, just to make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. Because there is a chance that even though, like I am a huge female, she has no wobble whatsoever, 3 out of her 5 babies did. So it's not even something that they have to pass on. It's just part of the genetics that they possess. So make sure you know your stuff before you make your purchases. Message today, we take a look at some interesting scripture, and it has to do a lot with something that's going on now. Steve Irwin's birthday, I guess what would have been his birthday, was last week, and as most of you heard, PETA really kind of took the low road and said some junk that they absolutely should not have about him. He has been somebody who is I guess hero, maybe the best word for it. I know I grew up absolutely idolizing him, and he was such an inspiration to me, and someone who I always wanted to follow in those footsteps. So it's not, you look at these animals, and my goal is for, I guess, to bring people to understand that they are awesome and they're cool and they're beautiful because that's how God created them to be. And he had this view that they are beautiful and they are amazing and they are wonderful and they need to be protected and they need to be shared and they need to be, people need to realize that they're not these monsters that they make them out to be. And so we did so much for conservation, so much for raising awareness, changing people's minds, changing people's lives in regard to animals. And it was absolutely amazing what he did. Definitely someone who I will always look up to, regardless of whether he is still here or not. But people are absolutely freaking out about what PETA said and the low blow that they took, and I'm not going to get into that. But what I will get into is what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to respond to that. There's a lot of people that I'm very close to that have put up some interesting posts and some very profane and hateful posts back at PETA for what they said. And, I'm sure they definitely raised some publicity for themselves. You always hear that there's no such thing as there's no such thing as bad publicity, and they're absolutely getting some. They're definitely getting a lot of attention too for what they said, and so it'll be interesting to see what happens from that. But James 1:19 is pretty clear, and it tells us to be slow to anger and slow to speak. And sometimes we let people get to us, and they say things about our friends, our family, about people that we used to look up to and idolize, and it hurts. And we flip out and we say stuff that we shouldn't. I know for me, regardless of scripture or not, I'm a pretty competitive guy and I'm somewhat controlling. And so I feel like when people say something and it pushes me to that point, I feel like they win. I feel like they got the best of me and like they are controlling me. And that's not something I'm cool with. And so I try to definitely watch what I say. I try to watch how I respond, and I fail miserably at times, especially when I'm dealing with people that I've had past hurts with and things that have happened. It's hard for me to forgive like I should and let go. But seeing the absolute hatred and the filth that is coming out of people's mouths in regard to what PETA said it's sad. It's heartbreaking. You know, they absolutely crossed the line, but people are crossing it right back in how they respond. And so it's hard to see. We got to control our tempers. We got to control our tongues. And we've definitely got to be slow to speak and slow to anger. Like I said, I'm not the best at it, but I'm definitely trying. God is definitely working on my heart and changing me every day. If that's something you guys have a question about or you need help with, or you need support or prayer, understanding, absolutely anything, feel free to reach out. We're always here for you guys. I love you. May be blessed to be blessing. We'll catch you next time.